All right. The moment y'all been waiting for. You see the graphic. It's the flagrant foul. And it's Geno Auriemma. Why is the flagrant foul Geno Auriemma if he was living on the rock? Because, well, one, Geno had this exchange at the end of the ass kicking that they took to South Carolina. So we're gonna start there, and Mr. Johnson, you get the first nod.
So we're dealing with a coach who has brought his program. For those who don't know, he is the long-term, long-tenured women's basketball head coach for the University of Connecticut. And he has brought his Lady Huskies to the dance. And when I mean the dance, I mean the Final Four, 25 consecutive years.
25 years, not consecutive. 25 years.
Okay, 25 years. I'm sorry, he didn't make it in 2000. But 25 out of 26 years. Anyway. He is a world-renowned coach. He's esteemed. He's highly regarded. He's highly respected. I mean, everybody named Mama wants to have their daughters play for this man. And so, of course, his crap doesn't stink. And he is, without a shadow of a doubt, the paragon of virtue when it comes to women's college basketball. But you see, I got a problem. This clown had the audacity, the nerve, and the unmitigated gall to act like some broom was stuck up his behind when in a national semifinal matchup Friday, when his Lady Huskies went up against Dawn Staley's Lady Gamecocks, and his team got the bejesus beaten out of them. It's as if Mr. Auriemma, who's supposed to represent all of this class, all of this elegance, all of this, I'm above all of the shenanigans of anything basketball because I believe in coaching and living the right way when it comes to basketball, acted like a petulant child all that game long.
Well, those of you who don't know what he's referring to, well, he's referring to the fourth quarter interview with Holly Rowe, and he had some strong things to say about one Don Staley and what she was saying to the ref and stuff like that. Which is something that we normally don't hear from Geno Auriemma doing coaches interviews.
Why are you griping to the reporter about the refs and South Carolina getting all of the calls and UConn ain't, when just about every college can line up and say the same thing against your program, son?
Because he's a hoe.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And then we get to the post game. Now, this is when you got your balls and your penis cut off, and a juice box was surgically inserted in between when you had that Holly Rowe interview and when you shook John Staley's hand at the end of the game because you acted like an absolute puss. You acted like an absolute jackass. You got your butt whooped in that game, 62-48. You should have been a man. Walked to that woman, shook her hand, and said, "You know what? Miss Staley, you coached a better game than me. Your girls are better than mine. Congratulations. Get that trophy." That's what you should have done, right? Because that's what she did with you when you played in the national championship game last year and you beat her by double digits, she was all class, said, "Congratulations, coach. You coach better than me. Your growth is better than mine." That's what Miss Staley did. But you, sir, decided to want to have an extra grind with her. And if I could not have gotten more pissed off at you for the lack of class that you showed a black woman, much less one of the stalwart figures of college basketball, much less one of the best coaches in college basketball, men's or women's, let alone one of the stalwart figures in basketball, even as a player. You had the absolute gall with that juice box surgically placed between your legs to say, quote, "Dawn Staley didn't shake my hand in pregame," close quote. There's footage of you in the pregame when Miss Staley walks up to you, Mr. Auriemma, and what happens? She shook your hand. Which means not only are you a petulant child, not only are you a newborn woman, but you lied. You lied to the public. You lied to the public. You decided to want to debase and to fame a legendary head coach. One of the figures that is going to be alongside your name as one of the best to ever do it in college women's basketball. And you get off scot-free with a BS apology, not mentioning Miss Staley's name because she was the one who deserved to have the apology have to be brought to her. But no.
You mean this apology?
Yes, but no. You do this, quote, "There's no excuse for how I handled the end of the game versus South Carolina. It's unlike what I do and what our standard is here in Connecticut. I want to apologize to the staff and the team in South Carolina. It was uncalled for in how I reacted. The story should be how well South Carolina played, and I don't want my actions to detract from that. I've had a great relationship with their staff, and I sincerely want to apologize to them." Close quote. Son, all that's great. Quote, "Miss Staley, you're one of the best coaches in college basketball. The way I handled that, I was an absolute ass, and I apologize for my actions." Close quote. That's what you'd have said there. But no, you little juice box ass couldn't do anything but just whine and whimper. Oh, you must have estrogen running through your veins too now. So when you had the newly inserted juice box, you had estrogen replace your testosterone because that was not a man thing. That was a punk move, son. Punk. You're too old of a man to be that big of a punk, and in front of a woman at that.
May I tag in?
Before you do, I just have this one sentence to say. Mr. Auriemma, for all of your greatness, for all of your majesty, for all of your magnificence, this is a blemish on your record because it shows that when things go well for you, you're good. But when things go bad for you, you're just like Donald Trump, a petulant, spoiled brat who wants to whine and kvetch and gripe his way to saying, "It's not right. It's all of you and not me." It's you. It's you, Auriemma. It's you. Look in that mirror and face the fact that you, son, don't cut the mustard. Now get that juice box inserted off of you and put back your penis, son. Go ahead, please.
25 Final Four appearances. I think it's 32 NCAA tournament appearances. 12 national championships. And, if people want to talk about Geno Auriemma in a positive light, you're kind of the reason why women's college basketball is the way it is, because everybody got sick and tired of you dominating everybody. So they had to step their game up. But then Friday happened. Remind you, almost a year ago, you and the Connecticut Huskies beat the brakes off of South Carolina and Down State in the national championship game. Down in Tampa, Florida, by the way. Y'all got to run around, just shoot threes left and right. There's just dropping. There was nothing Don State. There was no coaching move Don State could have done to change that game. Nothing. She shook your hand. She ran on about her business. 1 year later, Cool McCain. I think he's gonna like this part. So when Cole has brought up the pregame, right? I went to found that video. And you know what I saw in that video? It's not only the fact that they shook hands. You know what I saw in that video? Donna State wasn't looking for a chat. I said, oh, I see the problem. The problem wasn't that Don State didn't shake your hand pregame. The problem was she didn't want to chat with you because she was on a mission. She remember what happened about 363 days ago. That very night that happened in Tampa when y'all smacked the hell out of them. She didn't want to have a conversation because she was on a mission. This is what she wanted to get back to. She wanted to get back at you for that ass whipping that you gave her. And she gave it to you. The Gamecocks gave it to the Huskies. They was more physical. They was more dominant. Oh, and by the way, you brought up one lie. Did you bring up the other lie, Cole?
No, you can bring up the other one.
You said you had a player jersey whipped and you believe somebody in South Carolina with the jersey. No, Sarah Strong whipped her own jersey. And it's footage of her ripping her own jersey out of frustration. You ain't put that in your apology, did you? For falsely accusing them of doing something they didn't do. That wasn't in your apology. Not at all. For a legendary coach as you, and you are a legendary coach, you sure already know how to handle ass whoopings like this. Because you took some, and you gave a lot of them out. You want to be mad at somebody? Be mad at yourself, because you're the reason why the game of women's basketball is where it is today. It had to elevate because of you, and it has elevated to a point where you have competition, stiff competition at that. Back then, the only person that could really stop you was Pat Summitt and the Tennessee Volunteers. And then you had the one time when Arika Gumawale and Notre Dame got you. Because that woman, she didn't want to be the nut at all. But now you have Don Staley. Who would know what happened when you went against Corey Coates and UCLA? Because the way that they was playing in the Final Four of the national championship game, they was on about their own defense. Would you did the same thing with Vic Shaper and Cole Johnson's Texas Longhorns? You are not the cream of the crop of the NCAA anymore. So for you to act like this, it was very disheartening. Because there's a lot of us that have respect for you and what you did for the game of basketball. But for you to come out the down like that was pitiful. And even more pitiful is that apology that UConn made you do. Because I can tell by looking at apology, they ain't the apology that you wanted to say. That's UConn. And you know what makes you look very worse. Don State got her ass whipped last night. You know what she said in the post game? I got it right here for you. Cole, you want to open it up for me?
Quote.
I can swallow, meaning the loss, because we lost to a really good human being and a good team that represents women's basketball well.
Close quote.
Cool. If you got anything, go ahead.
I just want to say, scumbags always show you who they really are. I do believe Geno Auriemma is a scumbag. He can take it. He can give it, but he can't take it. Humble in winning, a fool when he lose. I also want to say lying. It's definitely a John Shearer trait. Just remind me if I'm missing something. But did we ever see any video of this so-called person on his staff that got hit? Did we ever see any video of these things that he was claiming, Shire was claiming? And it's funny that both of these guys are doing things or did things to take the shine off of the opponent that whooped their ass. Instead of just acknowledge that we caught an L. Be just as grateful when you lose as you are when you win. And you too old for that. You about to see God soon. You need to get yourself together for real. That's all I got to say.